Alright, gonna get the video kicked off momentarily. Because alright. In Texas today, heading up to, what is it called? I'm heading up by Dallas. I know that's where it is. But about to get on I-35. Heading up north. Hold on. Okay, got the live chat on. How y'all doing? Talk to the coffee fella. Okay. Alright. Been meaning to talk about this for a while. We talked about it before, but I don't think you could ever really stress it. Hold on, let me turn my GPS. Okay. Alright. Back on. I think YouTube Live is working better now because I think they must have updated it. Because I remember late last year when I was doing it, if I left it and went and did something else, it would like kick me out of it, and I had to start like a new live or something again. But it seems like now that issue has been fixed, so that's good. As far as I'm heading up to Ferris, Texas. I thought it was the name of the town was another name, but it turns out it wasn't. Hold on, I might have to stop and check this. That's the crazy part. These bills don't even really have an address on them. I just have to go off the Okay, so they did have the weight on this bill after all. Yesterday I thought it didn't have the weight on Alright, so it's a load of Pampers. It originally started in Mexico City. And they brought it up over the border. And now I have it. I'm carrying it over by Dallas. Okay, so as far as the BGS drones and stuff, you know, BGS has always operated with drones. This nigga has always operated with drones. As far back as I can remember, even all the way back in 2015. Okay. He operated with drones. It seems like a lot of the people who followed him or did follow him over the years or whatever, continue to follow him now. A lot of them seem to have this drone mentality where it's this whole, you know, follow the leader, you know, listen to what the leader says type thing, and whatever the leader says goes, whatever the leader's opinion is golden, you know what I mean? The leader's always right, and then you got like those upper, or I call the people who are like in BGS's inner circle, who, you know, those niggas, a lot of them are, you know, they're all in accordance. They all have that same leftist view and mindset of the world. Nobody over there is into business or talks anything about business or finance or anything like that. Everything is just all government, or join the military, or go into government, or do this in government, or do that in government. I think government is the solution to everything. That's why I'm not a big follower of those guys. When I first started following BGS, when I did follow him back in back in like late 2015, I thought, oh, here's, you know, this is cool. Here's this black dude. He got all these people in his hangouts and stuff that talk about black issues. And it wasn't until, you know, it didn't take me long to find out that BGS was not pro-black at all. That he was actually pro-leftist agenda and pro-globalist agenda. And, you know, once I found that out, I realized, oh, this is what this guy is really about preaching. He's not really here to preach anything positive for the black community. He's just here to spout leftist talking points. And once I realized that, I gradually started to make videos against him. I started leaving his ass alone. I didn't even go in his fucking hangouts like that anymore, other than to shoot down his points. Bad points that he was making. But that was the only reason that I would go up in there. You know, and then later on, other people, because Edward Anderson used to fuck with BGS heavy. Okay? Edward Anderson used to fuck with BGS heavy when these last 6 to 8 months, Edward Anderson stopped fucking with BGS. And good on Edward Anderson. Edward Anderson had no business hangouts, because the BGS hangouts don't talk about anything constructive that relates to Edward Anderson. Edward Anderson is like me. He's a big business guy. He's big into the finance side of things. And you know, the BGS crowd, they're not into that. They're leftists. None of them own businesses. They all either work in government or they work for somebody else. and they want government solutions to every problem. They hate the free market, especially Cerulean Gray. Cerulean Gray talks shit about the free market every day, all the damn time, okay, and doesn't let up on it. Let me move over. You know what I mean? But that nigga be talking shit every day, all the time about the free market and doesn't let up on it. But he has a very poor understanding of economics in general and that whole kind of thing. But I digress on that. Like I said, they got this drone mentality, and what happened is Edward would go up in there, and Edward would have a free market perspective, or he would have he would talk about business or that kind of thing. And what would happen is BGS would come in with his theoretical view of what the future is going to be. So Edward would say that, well, you can solve that problem by doing this or doing that. And BGS would say, well, in 5 years, that's going to be obsolete. But that's not necessarily true. That's just a projection and a prediction based on specific viewpoint. That's not necessarily true. Okay, there's no evidence at all that everyone's going to have self-driving cars within 5 years. Okay, there's no evidence of that. It's just a projection. Okay, they may have self-driving cars, but they may not be the dominant force in the market. Okay, we got electric cars now, but are they the dominant force in the market? No, they are just there to fulfill a specific niche of people who want to have vehicles, but don't necessarily want to deal with fossil fuels and that whole type of thing. Okay, but he tries to pretend like he's this big expert on technology and all that kind of stuff, and he's not. Okay, there was a gentleman who was in the BGS Hangouts one time who said he worked in coding, but he was claiming that he was and this was like a year or two ago, he was claiming that he was this big robotics expert or whatever. And I asked him, okay, well, what do you do? He said, well, I work in coding. I said, well, do you work in robotics coding? He said, no, well, coding fuels robotics. Well, that's not the same damn thing. You don't actually work in robotics. You are not at the cutting edge of that field. You may work in coding, but you don't work in robotics. Actually tell people what it is that you work in. Don't sit up there and make stuff up. That's just like me saying that because I'm a truck driver, I'm an expert in everything involving the trucking industry, and I'm not. Because I've never done dispatch, I've never worked on trucks, I've never fixed trucks or anything like that. So I only have expertise in my particular field that I do, which is driving. But I'm not an expert in everything. And you had niggas over there saying how they were experts in every, so I work in coding. There was a brother who did batteries. He sold lithium batteries, and I'm gonna talk about that brother too, because he was actually a good brother, but he did mischaracterize one time. He said he sold lithium batteries, but he was acting like he was an expert on self-driving vehicle technology and autonomous vehicles and stuff. And he wasn't. He was just a guy that owned a business selling lithium batteries for people with like electric bikes and stuff. Okay, he wasn't this autonomous vehicle expert in that kind of thing. That leads me to another point. That brother was actually smart. He was actually a really smart, business-minded brother. But you don't see him in the BGS Hangouts anymore. Why? Because BGS and them ran him up out of there. See, whenever somebody comes in there and they start talking smart, they start talking business, or they start talking finance, or they start talking about how they can be independent as a black person, successful as a black person, they don't like that shit over there. Okay? BGS don't like nobody that's more successful than him, or that has figured something out that he hasn't figured out. He don't like that shit. So the brother would be in conversations with them, and he would make like a business analogy, and then BGS would say, well, you shouldn't make that analogy, you should make like a worker analogy, or you should pretend like you're a worker or whatever. And this brother's just speaking from his perspective. Okay, that's all he was doing. But he had a lot of good knowledge. And I wish that brother, if I'm going to find that brother my damn self and bring him on my hangouts. But I would love to have that brother up on there to talk business, stuff like that. But like I said, when you got a bunch of socialists and Marxists who think that they know every damn thing and that they know what's going to happen in the future and all this and that, you know, they're real threatened by people who actually are in specific fields and who actually are in business and stuff like that, because those types of people can refute a lot of their theories. All they have is theories. They don't actually have like real information. They just have theories. Okay? And what happens is people like that, you know, they throw their little theories and stuff around, and a person like that is able to say, well, I actually work in this field, or I actually have a business in this field, and I've had this business for X amount of years, and I've seen X, Y, and Z. And see, people like fucking BGS don't like that shit. The only thing BGS does is sits up there and reads articles all the time and reiterates what he reads about articles. He's not actually in any of these fields. And BGS is just an employee. He's a 60-year-old man who has to go work for other people at 60 years old. You know, he can't retire. He doesn't have his own thing where he can live off his own money or his own assets or anything like that. He's just a 60-year-old working schmuck. Okay. Now, he may like the company he works for or whatever. They may like him because they might view him as one of them older, safe niggas that ain't really gonna challenge anything or anybody, anything like that. So, you know, they may tolerate him, but it is what it is. Now, the whole drone mentality, like I said, these niggas have, that has been around for the longest time on that channel. And that's why I left that channel. Anyone who comes in there with a contrary viewpoint, he doesn't debate them. What he does is he'll try to isolate the person, and then he'll try to ask the person stupid rhetorical questions, stupid stuff like that, so that he can get a specific answer, or he tries to lead the person to a specific answer. And that's not debate, man. That is so elementary. You know, that's his form of debate. If he did something, you start asking a stupid question. If I say, well, the price of milk is gonna go up next year, he'll say, well, you know, what color is milk? Okay. What color is the milk carton that the milk is sold in? Okay. What color is the cow that produced the milk? Okay. And that kind of shit. You know, what state did the cow come from that produced the milk? You know, stupid stuff like that. But he won't talk about why the price of milk is gonna go up next year. He won't talk about that. He'll just ask stupid questions. You know what I mean? And I fucking hated that. That's why I don't fuck with him anymore. I don't debate him. Nobody debate him anymore. They don't debate over there at that channel. Okay? It's just a bunch of niggas, and it's a circular firing squad over there. And whatnot. But like I said, a lot of those niggas are nuts. And then you got the Officer Charles. And Officer Charles has been around here a long time. He has all these dry jokes and stuff. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not. But I've never seen Officer Charles really ever challenge BGS. Like, that's my biggest criticism of him. I've never seen him actually. He just kind of comes in there, sometimes he be drunk, and he's a police officer. Sometimes this motherfucker be drunk on look like he be drunk on duty sometimes, but he come in there, make dry jokes, and he's only pro-black when it's convenient. Okay, he's only pro-black when he's trying to advance one of BGS's points or advance one of Cerulean's points. But I've never seen this guy kind of come in there on his own initiative and have his own, stand on his own 2 feet. He's always playing like a supporting role, which kind of leads me to believe he's kind of a drone too. Officer Charles is kind of a drone. In fact, he is a drone. And whenever you have these videos, anything involving a black women, and I notice this especially when anything involving a black women, Officer Charles will side with, a lot of times this dude will side with the white people. I've seen him do that shit. Okay, I've seen him do that shit. You can't tell me nothing. Because like I said, I've seen him do this shit. I've seen him go up in there and on videos like that video, the black girl that got punched out in front of the movie theater. He sided with the white dude. So a lot of them in that white dude. And these kids came and surrounded my family. I'd have done the same thing. I mean, no kind of broader perspective of the whole situation. No kind of, he never asked why the hell was a grown man in front of some movie theater beefing with a bunch of kids. He didn't ask what happened before the incident or, and that whole type of thing. He didn't ask that. He didn't ask that. All he said is he saw the white dude and he saw punch the black girl out. He said, well, the black girl was loud. The black girl was ghetto. The black girl was this. The black girl was that. She was doing this. She was doing that. She deserved it. And I always noticed that dude, Officer Charles, will always side against black people. It's just something that I've seen. You know what I mean? That's just something I've noticed with him. I don't know why that's a thing with him. But it is, so it kind of makes it hard for me to relate to him. Because this guy's supposed to be a black police officer in Baltimore fighting crime. He's supposed to be the one to relate to the community the most because he works in the community. He's down there with in the trenches with the niggas every day. Well, it seemed like this nigga, every chance he gets the chance, he goes and he identifies with whoever is going against the black folks. And talk about staying on code. That's not staying on code. That's not staying on code. That's being all the way off code. That's me. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But then you got the people in there, like some of the newcomers. You got the people like the Grinch and people like that, and people who, now I'm noticing like that whole room over there is starting to turn into like a veterans club. Like almost every nigga in here is like some sort of veteran. Somehow, like either they were in the Navy or Army or Marines or whatever, or they, it's becoming like they're starting to get more and more veterans over there, and the mentality is starting to become. I'm starting to kind of notice. I'm starting to kind of notice that the mentality over there is starting to become a very exclusive mentality. And you're really starting to see it with this whole Gray Faulkner initiative thing that they got going. Now let me tell you about this whole Gray Faulkner initiative. Okay. That whole Gray Faulkner initiative thing, that's just it's not really innovative because niggas have been joining the military a long time. In fact, when niggas can't find work in the regular economy, a lot of niggas, especially if they're younger, they will look to the military because it can kind of be a way to get money and get a job, and you know, if you just can't make any headway in the traditional economy, and you can learn a lot of skills, you can get you can potentially get ahead. It is kind of a way to get ahead, but at the same time, you know, I think what they want to do with this Gray Faulkner initiative is they want to create a whole class of black men that are just like them, you know, veterans, guys that sit around all day and talk about when they were in the military. You know, they're going to become like this exclusive little veterans club and talk about how, you know, they claim they're going to get these black boys in the military so they get in leadership positions, and then they're going to come out, I guess, and then go for leadership positions in the community or run for office or anything. How come none of them are running for office right now? Like Cerulean Gray can run for office, Officer Charles can run for office, a lot of those guys can run for office. You don't really see them doing that. I still see them doing too much sitting around and complaining about women. That's what I see. I see them complaining about women too much. And that's the main thing that kind of turned me off about it. Is too many of them complaining about women too much, and I don't really see a lot of them with like alpha solutions. I see a lot of them with talking about, you know, all this powerless talk, and I couldn't stand all this powerless talk. How the black woman is on top and she's the boss of the community, and the black man isn't, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're being socialized, you're being brainwashed. That kind of defeatist rhetoric is why a lot of niggas don't follow BGS. The only people are gonna follow him are people who have the same defeatist mindset that he has. And truth be told, it's not a lot of niggas that have that kind of mindset. You know, and a lot of the niggas that you used to see in there, you used to be in his hangouts, you don't see a lot of them niggas in there. What happened is a lot of niggas just got tired of pretending, in my opinion. I think a lot of niggas just got tired of, you know, pretending to be down with someone who ultimately isn't really down for them, because BGS isn't really down for black people like that. Every time you look around, he's in conflict with other black people. He's arguing with other black people. Try to get other black people to see his way. He's talking down to black people, telling niggas how dumb they are and stupid they are. Now he thinks he's the only nigga in the world that reads books. But he ain't gonna go talk to no white people like that and go tell them anything like that. Show me anywhere with BGS on a white platform debating white people. He don't do that. He only sit up there and talk that kind of shit to niggas. Because, you know, a lot of white people will fire back at his ass. But a lot of these, you know, daddy issues ass niggas, you know, because they didn't have no daddy and stuff, they'll duck their head and say, Yessa Boss, no Boss, yes master teacher, no master teacher, and all that shit. And that's the kind of shit that makes them feel good. So it is what it is. It ends up being what it is. That being said, you know, likes niggas that conform to his shit. You know, conform to his stuff. And if you're not gonna conform to his stuff, you know, he ostracizes you. He tries to make fun of you, or one thing a lot of his followers do is if you really debate him well and you don't accept his viewpoint, they'll say, well, you're acting like a woman. Anyone that doesn't accept their viewpoint, they will say, well, you're a woman, or you're acting like a woman, or whatever. That's their go-to thing to say. And I always thought that was weird. I always thought that they had weird-ass ideas and stuff about women and stuff like that. I always thought they had degrading ideas and stuff about women. A lot of times. A lot of times, that's what I think it is. And whatnot, you know. But it is what it is. You know, but like I said, these guys are like nuts, man. They be going all over to other people's channels. They have a history of doing that. They be all on Nyla's channel and stuff, talking shit to Nyla Says and people in her rooms and stuff, you know, and whatnot. I've seen them do it. I've seen it when they did it. So, you know, that's my whole thing on it. And whatnot, but how should I say? Whatever it is, whatever have you. Yeah, but those guys are nuts, man. They're nuts. This truck, he went in between the little construction buoys they got out here. Slow down for this guy. Like I said, I never liked that whole drone mentality. I never liked it. And then when Cerulean branched off and tried to do his whole thing, I kind of supported Cerulean because I said, okay, finally Cerulean's branching off. He's going to have his own platform, talk about his own issues. But in the end, he's still just a sickle for BGS. You know, and they kicked me off because I challenged them. They tried to bring in some fake nigga psychopath atheist and try to say I'm some kind of secret coon or whatever. This nigga didn't have no evidence, no time stamps. He said that this dude butt hurt because I disagreed with him in an argument he was having with some white folks two years ago. He can't even remember what the damn argument was about. Ain't even said it was about, but he said I had a disagreement with him, and that means I'm a coon. Look, motherfucker, a lot of y'all conscious niggas need to grow the fuck up. Okay? Because in the real world, not everybody gonna agree with your fucking ass on everything. That's why y'all conscious niggas will sit up there and talk all that shit. In 20 years, y'all niggas will still be talking the same shit on the same street corner for 25 and 30 years and won't move an inch in life. In fact, you will regress. Okay, and that's why y'all have that mentality. You think everybody's supposed to agree with you. How does that work in life? Show me in life when everybody just agrees with a particular person. You know what I mean? Show me where that happens in life. You know? It doesn't happen in life. You know? But that's the weirdest thing. You know, I was in Laredo, Texas yesterday, so I have my hazmat endorsement. I think I told y'all about my hazmat endorsement. They got me on hazmat dedicated right now. So we run a lot of loads to Mexico, but we don't actually go to Mexico. What we do is we take it to the border, we take it to Laredo, Texas, And from there, we drop the trailer at a warehouse there. Then Mexican carriers come and take it into Mexico. Okay, but when I got to Laredo yesterday, it was my first time getting there. And like I said, I was new, so I'm trying to find the drop yard. I'm at the drop yard. I'm trying to find the receiver I'm supposed to drop it in, and it was all these residential streets and stuff. It was crazy. So I went to the warehouse and slept for the night, and I went to drop. It was kind of like a drop warehouse that my company that I work for owns there. So I parked outside of there for the night and called for directions. They told me how to get up in there because there was a lot of residential streets around there, man. A lot of little residential streets. I'm like, how am I gonna get up in there? And it's all these residential streets. I looked at it on Google Maps, and I kind of got like an idea. But the street I thought I was supposed to go on, that turned out not to be the street I was supposed to go on, because there was a school on that street. But I called them in the morning, and the girl, it was a nice girl, she directed me and told me what street I needed to take to get up in there. And I just went to that little street up in there and got in there just fine, delivered the load, whatever. Then when I got to the warehouse, they sent me another load to go back to the company's yard and pick up another trailer and take it there. And I was only like 7 miles, so little short stuff. Like, as a trucker, you don't really like doing little short stuff like that. And sometimes, you might be the only truck in the area to do that, so it is what it is. But after that, they sent me back up here towards Dallas. So I-35, so I was happy about that. They gave me that load yesterday. And they said, okay, just take it. I picked it up at the company's yard too. And they said, okay, just take it up there. And they wanted me to say, if you get there today, fine. But if you get there early tomorrow morning, 5 too. I didn't have enough hours to get there yesterday. Because all that shit, dropping those 2 loads in the morning, and all that bullshit, all that shit, and then Laredo, Texas has crazy ass traffic for a city that's not really all that big. It has crazy ass fucking traffic. They need to do something about their road system there because it was horrible. Okay, they had coming out of the yard and getting on I-35 and going back up into town, which was only supposed to be 7 miles. It was, to get on I-35 on the overpass, it was a big-ass fucking line of fucking vehicles. That alone took damn near 12, 13 minutes. Bumper to bumper. Trucks everywhere. Bumper to bumper. Cars everywhere. You know what I mean? I guess all the warehouses there are in like one little area that's like north of town. So all the trucks coming out of there, they all try to get on the same road to get on I-35, and it'd be backed up bumper to bumper. You know what I mean? Backed up like crazy bumper to bumper. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm just sitting there, and it's fucking crazy. I'm just sitting there, I'm looking at these police cruisers everywhere, I don't even think the police out there care because, and then when you get down into the city, they got all these old one-way streets, and I hate one-way streets. Because I turned up one of them when I dropped the first trailer at the yard, at the warehouse before they told me to go back to get the next one. I ended up going up one of the damn streets. Would have had a fucking ticket fucking around with Laredo, Texas. Would have had a fucking ticket trying to come up out of there. And they don't have enough signs. They just expect you to know. They got one sign, it's okay, one way. But then when you come back up the street, they don't have no other signs to remind you. So like I said, very poor infrastructure, very poorly put together. I did see one kind of little thick Latina working at the warehouse. Y'all know how I am about thick Latinas, but like I said, that place just got bad infrastructure. It's bad infrastructure. know what I mean? And, you know. But as far as would I ever live in Laredo, Texas, there are places in Texas that I would live, but Laredo's not one of them. It's too small, too isolated, you know, and there's not a lot going on. But then when you come up out of there, they have this big border patrol checkpoint where they have this machine there. They will literally x-ray your whole trailer to make sure you're not carrying anything illegal, and they got a big sign that said, "State of Texas, if you are caught smuggling anything illegal, you know, drugs or anything, you will lose your CDL for life." You know. But that was a big ass motherfucking station. And what was it? I think it was a border patrol. I think it was border patrol. And they blocked off the interstate and diverted everyone off the interstate through this fucking station. Big ass motherfucking. It was kind of, you know, because, you know, all the border patrol agents was out there on their radios and stuff. And you don't know what they be saying to each other on those radios and stuff. And I know when I got up there, because usually at state checkpoints like that, they just ask you, okay, let me see your bills. What are you transporting? And you're on about your way. But he didn't even ask me for my bills. He asked me, "Was there anyone in the truck with you?" I said, "No. There's nobody in my sleeper berth. I'm a solo driver. I'm just driving by myself. I'm not team driving. I'm driving by myself." Then he was like, "Okay, do you mind, we can x-ray your trailer?" I said, "Okay, fine. You know, I don't care. I know I'm not transporting anything illegal. They ain't gonna see nothing back there but a bunch of Pampers from Mexico City." You know, but I noticed there were two other trucks they had ordered to go through that little x-ray line. So I guess they was picking trucks at random or whatever it was, what have you. And I went through the little x-ray. I had to wait about like 2 minutes or whatever for the truck that was in front of me to get done. And there was two trucks in front of me. I had to wait for them to get done. And I went through. They waved me through. I was on about my way. But that's the thing. With this dedicated route, they're going to be sending us a lot to Laredo, Texas. So I hope that check station is not open all the damn time. Because it's going to be a hassle to go through there all the damn time like that. Now, I would imagine in the future, they might not make me go through x-ray. They'll probably just say, "Can I see your bills? You're on about your way, sir," and whatever. But today I had to go through that damn x-ray. And they had a bunch of lanes too. They're like 8 lanes for trucks going through there. And it still took like 8 minutes to get through there. 8 or 9 minutes to get through there. You know what I mean? So, at least it wasn't like a DOT station or anything. You got a weigh station where you got to inspect your truck and all that. I did one of those a few weeks ago, say 3-4 weeks ago. In Utah, they got me on a level 1 inspection. The only thing they found wrong was my reverse light on my tractor needed to be fixed. That was it. And then there was an issue on the trailer. I don't have that trailer. I dropped that trailer or something. I think they fixed that, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, that was in fucking Utah, man. You know. But I mean, the staff there, they were nice people. They weren't like assholes or anything. Then I came out of Reno a week later. Came through California. They said I went through too fast through the weigh station. But they just gave me a warning, though. They didn't really give me. I'm thinking, shit, it's California. I know the motherfuckers probably gonna give me a fucking ticket or something. But luckily, the guy was nice. He gave me a warning or whatever. They let me out. They sent me on about my way. But you gotta go slow through these fucking weigh stations and stuff. If it says 5 miles an hour, they need 5 miles an hour. You go 10 or 15 they're gonna say you speed. It don't matter how much, even if there's no trucks in front of you, and you're just trying to get through there, okay? They want you going 5 miles an hour. I did go fast through a way station one time in New Mexico back in 2017, and they got on the intercom and they was like, just slow down. But they didn't stop me and bring me in or see my license and all that crazy shit in California. You know, so it was what it was, though. And then 2 loads ago, they had sent me to Georgia, and from Georgia they sent me to Kentucky. That was my first like hazmat load. But in Georgia, it sent me a load from California to Georgia, Southern California to Georgia, coming off my home time. And when I got to the place in Georgia, they refused to load because a lot of the boxes have been packed on the floor of the trailer, and they use load slips, and they said they needed to be on pallets, and they said, you know, they don't like packing them on the floor because you know, it can be contaminated or whatnot from, you know, those reefer trailers. They don't like them packing any stuff on the floor like that. So what the company had to do is they had to call the lumber guy out to come wrap those boxes and put them on a pallet. So that they accepted it after that. But it took hours and hours. And I got there at 2 a.m. and I was supposed to deliver at 2 a.m. in the morning. I didn't get out of there until 3:40 p.m. the next day. That whole process. You know what I mean? So, you know, well, like I said, the company I drive for, they said that a driver who came to that same place had the same problem the day previous. Okay, so, and then they told me when I got to the warehouse, they said, look, this shipper, we've had this problem with this shipper of them loading their boxes like this for a whole year. And they keep doing it over and over again. So, you know, I know now when I check my trailer, I check my load to make sure they don't load it like that. You know, I mean, I know that now. You know what I mean? But it was what it was, though. What should I say? You know, it was what it was. And of course, that's frustrating. You don't like that when that happens. But at the refrigerator warehouse in Atlanta, they had some. She was a nice looking red bone chick working there. She got some leggings on. She was decent looking. But she's kind of standoffish, but decent looking. I didn't really pursue it or push it or anything like that. But she was standoffish. But looked like she probably have a kid too, or two. I mean, she was slender, but you know the way her body was, looked like she had a kid or something. She probably have a couple of kids. I don't know. But she was a nice looking chick. It is what it is. Let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna hit y'all up with another video.